Hello, seventh grade parents. I'm Dr. Colm O'Mahony, and I'm the new junior high science teacher here at St. James. So, since I'm new at St. James, I'll give you a little biographical background information on myself. So, if you can't tell from the accent, I'm Irish. I received my bachelor's degree in chemical sciences from University College Cork, and I received my doctorate in materials chemistry also from University College Cork, and then I taught at the university level for 2 years. Then moved to Manhattan, New York with my wife, where I taught at a private all-girls school called the Spence School. I primarily taught 10th grade chemistry, 8th grade earth science, and the senior electives in chemistry. Um, my wife is a Cincinnati native, which is why we have moved to Cincinnati, and I have two twin daughters, Charlotte and Harriet, who just turned 3 in June. So let's talk about what seventh grade science is about. Seventh grade science is about a transition, about moving the students from the more elementary school science into what they're going to need when they arrive to high school in 2 years. So what I'm primarily focused on working is their skills, um, critical thinking, data analysis, problem solving, the ability to break down a problem, recognize its component parts, organize, sort ideas, synthesize those ideas into conclusions, being able to look at data and understand it as best possible, be able to draw conclusions from it. These are all important life skills that I feel will not only aid them as they move into high school, into college, but into whatever career they pursue, even if it has nothing necessarily to do with science. I feel like these are the sort of things that I can teach your sons and daughters that will be useful long beyond whatever content I give them has faded a little bit. Not to say that content isn't a priority. As the world continues to change in a variety of different ways, science and technology are going to be at the forefront, and being as literate in those concepts and ideas is going to be really important. So the course is structured in such a way as that we try to connect the bigger sort of everyday experiences that your students have with the fundamental principles of science. And that's how we sort of introduce these sort of um, fundamental but abstract ideas that drive the world around us. So, for example, one of the first units that we start off with is understanding Earth's water, Earth's atmosphere, weather. To understand how water interacts with the world around it, you first have to understand the chemistry of water. You have to understand how the structure of water, its shape, and its polarity affect all of its properties. And so we take the idea, okay, a sort of a sort of everyday concept that the students are capable of visualizing and interacting with, ice floats. Why? Why does ice float? Because when water freezes, it forms a structure that takes up more space than it previously had, so its density drops, and so because it's less dense, it floats. So these are the sort of things that we're going to be doing. We're going to be trying to take the everyday concepts that your children are exposed to and tie that to these fundamental understandings of how the worlds work and sort of use that as our way in, our stepping stone to making them curious and engaged with the world around them. So like I said, we're going to start off with water and atmosphere and climate and weather. Then we're going to move into some more. So that's going to be primarily some chemistry and a little bit of physics. Then we're going to move it slightly into a more physics realm by talking about planetary systems, the sun, the moon, the earth, how they interact with each other, seasons, phases of the moon, why um, why seasons exist, why the phases of the moon exist, how does a solar eclipse work, how does a lunar eclipse work, how do we understand how the planets move through space. So that'll be, again, using the sort of big ideas to pull us back to the more fundamental concepts, abstract, that are driving them. Then we work through some biology. We talk a little bit about ecosystems, how life ties together, how everything is dependent on everything else. We talk about how removing an apex predator from a food chain can cause a spiral effect that collapses the food chain. So we'll expose them to fundamental biology principles as we work through that. Then we go back and we talk a little bit more about chemistry. We talk about the properties of matter. We also tie it to energy, so we move back into the physics realm. So it's all about giving them those fundamental blocks of information that they need to succeed not only into eighth grade, but then beyond into 9, 10, 11, and 12 as they pursue science as high school students. Um, I'm hopeful that we will have a wonderful year in seventh grade this year. If any of you have any questions at any time, please feel free to email me, and I will do my very best to get back to you as soon as possible. And I'm hopeful that we're going to have a very great year together. Thank you so much.